What is going on YouTube? Today I am super excited to show you what we got in the box. But first, I have to sell you something. W was formulated to give you focus and energy with no jitters or crash. W's formula contains vitamins, amino acids, and nootropics, including the patented neurofactor. No calories, no sugar, no fillers, no artificial colors. What else could you ask for? Thank you W for sponsoring this video. Use promo code SR71DUB, that's SR71DUB for 10% off at checkout. This also supports me and is always appreciated. Now back to the show. Today we're going to be installing a cold air intake by HPS. Let's take a look inside. So why did I choose the HPS cold ram air intake versus some of the other competitors like K&N? Mainly is price point and the fact that my car is a non-turbo. It needs a very specific cold air intake setup. All right, looking inside, you've got this really beautifully done blue, almost like a purple. It was actually because of this color that I chose it. I was gonna do red, but I really like the way that looked. Looks like we got this looks like the heat shield. So this kit comes with everything that we need, including a replacement hose, some clamps. So it should be a pretty easy bolt on, no excessive hardware or anything. Alright, so I'm going to get started on it. Just hang tight. Now that we got this off, air filter's right here. It's actually pretty dirty, and this is the original one. And I've got about 60,000 miles on, so this is well overdue. Alright, let's just get this box out of here. Make sure you remove this snorkel as well. It's all connected. Okay, now that we've got the air box out, we should be left with this hose, and our throttle body there. So we get our tube. It comes with this silicone connection, comes with this extra hose, it comes with a nipple cap, and it comes with these clamps. We'll just start putting them on. The clamp goes over the connection here and over the throttle body like so, and then connecting the hoses and then the air filter on top of that, and we should be good to go. Now that we have the air intake tube on, it's going to be putting these air hoses on, and then we got to replace this vacuum line which is attached to the valve cover. All right, now we got our hoses on. Next is going to be put air filter and the heat shield. The heat shield wasn't too complicated to work around. You had to get this band on, and then you had to put on these 3 pieces. They give you 4. I'm assuming if you probably break one, you probably will. But then this just slips over, and then you'll tighten the air filter down first, and then you'll put the heat shield down tight after. So that's what we're doing next. All right, guys, here it is. The final product. It's all installed. It's done. I've seen where the heat shield is actually on the bottom, but I figured the heat shield should probably be towards the engine, right? So that's just my thinking on that. All right, you guys, for this one, I had to give a shout out to Enjuku because this is where I got the HPS filter from. You can get the HPS filter from HPS's website. I'll leave a link in the description below. Now that the installation is completed, I can definitely tell you that from a difficulty standpoint of installation, from 1 to 10, I would say this is about a 1 or a 2. You realistically didn't need that many tools. I think specifically you needed a star bit key to take off the airbox. After that, everything else was pretty much just plug and play with your hands. I needed the channel locks to take off the band that was at the top of the valve cover. Then you just needed a flathead screwdriver to put the clamps on and off. So I got this cold air intake for about $200. I'm going to leave links in the description below that'll show the price from HPS's website and then Enjuku where I got the product to begin with. Now I actually couldn't find any specifications as far as horsepower or torque increase. and I feel like that's kind of a safe bet because I don't think that it's going to be making a major difference, mostly because in the description of the product it says that no tuning is required. Here's a quick 0 to 60. This is actually after I had the cold air intake and I've done a rear engine mount that's been put on the car. So that was roughly about 11 seconds, which is a pretty big difference. So I can't tell you how much horsepower the car is actually making or how much horsepower is actually getting to the wheels. I am trying to set up a date where I can go to the dyno, but that's kind of gonna be a whole video that I want to do. So stay tuned for that, and then we'll be able to give you exact, from prior stock to after the cold air intake, after the rear engine mount, and then we can kind of see what we're going for. You guys can follow me on Instagram and DM me your cars. I want to see your builds. What are you guys working on? Go ahead and leave a comment, leave a like. I want to see what you guys want to see done in the car. What do you guys think? Would you do a cold air intake? Do you think it's myth or fact that having compressed colder air, dense air inside the combustion chamber actually makes more horsepower, or is it a bunch of hoo-ha? Let me know in the comments below. I appreciate you guys sticking around. This was a really fun video to shoot. I have some other videos in the works, and then I also just made a bunch of rounds over at Whoosh Motorsports, so shout out to those guys. Those are awesome, you crazy bastards. Stay tuned for more. If you like this kind of content, consider subscribing, and if you really want to help, you can check out my merch at sr71industries.com. Everything helps go back into the channel. Thank you again to W for sponsoring this video. Go and check them out at w.gg.